Is this working? I have no idea. Let's see here. Seems to work. Yeah, so once again, I'm gonna have to check if there is anyone here watching right now. I have to check if I am actually live, because I don't know. I don't know if I'm live. That's the drawback with streaming on iOS. When you're using only iOS, it's actually seeing comments because you have to use multiple devices and stuff. I'm guessing with the new iPad here, there could probably be some split screen stuff doing. So for those of you who have noticed that my iPad is bigger than both of my hands together, this is the size of a regular iPad mini, and as you can see, they can fit 2 minis here. So I'm not only talking about presets today, I'm also introducing a new friend into the studio that I've been wanting for some time. Alright, so what I'm doing right now, I'm checking my email here because I sent myself the link. It's not too easy finding my own streams, and I'm gonna go to the video now and watch it, or not sit here and watch myself stream just blindly staring into nothingness. I just want to see so everything is working and the chat window is on and everything like that. I can see that Bram is in the stream, so hello Bram, very nice to see you here. Your hand shrunk? No? I just got a bigger iPad. So I'll just talk a little bit before I go into the actual thing about the presets here and what I'll actually be doing today with Poison-202 and stuff. I'll just say that I'm doing some I'm doing work for a developer, and I can't go into it because, you know, I can't talk about that process. But I'm getting paid, and one of the payments is actually this iPad here. So this is something I've been planning to get for myself because I've been worried that I wouldn't be able to stay current and up to date with all the new apps coming out. So I can't even begin to tell you how stressed I've been about this. I've really been stressed because my iPad mini 2, which is here now, has really, just been crawling and going on its knees from all of the heavy apps that I've been loading. So having access to something like this is the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. It's the big one, really big one. It feels ridiculous. I like the size as long as I'm here, but traveling around with it, I don't know. It is amazing though. It's fast. God, it's fast. It's really fast. And I can load several instances of many things. I can now move beyond the barriers I've had earlier, because I've been working with this for almost 4 years now. 4 years just chugging away with older model iPads, and I've proven that you can use them for a lot of stuff, right? So they're amazing and what you can do with them, even with the older models. Even my iPad mini 1, which is somewhere here, I can't really find it now. So yeah, that's why I have a new iPad, and now I want to go into actually talking about the presets. So let's remove the music here, and I'll just stop the track altogether. It feels ridiculous just having this size to move around with. Let's see here. Why is there a message popping up on my cancel? I hope the stream is still going. Right, so there's a few more comments here. So hello everyone, I'm really glad that you came. I'm going to be talking Poison-202 and the presets I made for Poison-202. I spent most of Christmas and New Year's Eve and the weeks before that and a week after making these 100 presets. And if anyone joined up the stream and don't know what I'm talking about, Jim Pavlov, he helped me, and he put these new presets into bank C and D. So in bank C, you can find my my drum sounds, and in bank D you can find the rest of the sounds, and all of well, all in all together it's 100 sounds. I wanted to release 128 because I'm nerdy like that, but I just messed up, and I lost some presets because um, I can be a doofus sometime. Uh, right. So what I thought I'd start with is I just want to go through just a few of my favorite ones in here. And the way I did this is, so from 0 to 19 you have the almost said bass there. You have the bass presets, and then comes the leads from 20 to 39, I think, and then comes keys and plucked, and these are my favorite ones. I had a friend that told me that, yeah, this synthesizer Poison-202, it's really awesome, man, but you can't really make like beautifully sounding sounds with it like that. I've tried, and it's not really, well, he almost said not possible. He stopped himself before that, but so I thought I'd just my God, my ego. I thought I'd just show him off. And so these came to life. And I hope I don't kill you now with the kill your ears, I mean, of course, with the sound. I don't know if you consider these to be beautiful, but I consider these types of sounds to be beautiful. And the way these are made, I wanted stuff that sounded like bell sounds. And Poison-202 isn't an FM synthesizer. But even though it isn't, it does have something that is quite close to it because it's got cross modulation. I'm sorry for the fuzzy picture. Because of my iPad being bigger, the range between the phone, I haven't been able to set it to the optimal. So with this app also, it doesn't have any functions for actually refocusing the camera. So that's why it's a bit fuzzy. So I'll just point and be very specific about what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about the cross mod, and the cross mod is a modulation between oscillator 1 being affected by oscillator 2. Wait, is it the other way around? We can easily test that. Let's go to the last one of this list and go to 89 and then just press forward, and that way we'll get to make a new preset. So here we have a saw waveform. And if we go to oscillator 1, I'm just going to test this. What I'm doing now is I'm turning the balance knob to oscillator 1, and there you hear it. You have a cross modulation between oscillator 2 and oscillator 1. So you're using, when you're tweaking this up, you're actually using the signal, the frequency from oscillator 2 to modulate oscillator 1. And that's basically FM synthesis, basically. And this modulation changes depending on what type of waveform you have on oscillator 2, because that's the carrier wave we're using to modulate. So if we go into oscillator 2 here and choose the square waveform, let me do this while you're listening. So first I'm going to use this with the saw waveform. So you can hear, you get some really different sounds and results with it. Now, these, now, just because I showed this and explained this, it might sound as if that's how I made these these plucky sounds, but it's not how I made them. I used another method, since you can with FM synthesis you can make bell sounds in low octaves and high octaves. And with this synthesizer, since it's not an FM synthesizer and I want to make bell sounds, the only way I could really get the synthesizer to do something similar to that is by pitching every preset and patch highly. So I just tweaked up the semitones to the maximum just to get high notes. And so if you take these presets, these oh, what am I doing? Come on, I'm gonna go there and let's check this one, the pluck one. No, clinky, Mr. Clinky. So let's go to oscillator. No, it's not oscillator 2. You hear that? It stops sounding like a bell instantly. So I'm just using a square waveform, but if you go up with it, you get a sharper tone. And then I added another harmonics, and I did that with oscillator 1. So if I turn over to oscillator 1, you can hear that sharpness in it. And the way I was able to do that, so if we look at oscillator 1, we go to oscillator 1 and look at it, and we look at the filter here, you can see that I've got a sharp resonance, and I'm basically using that together with the envelope to shape that clicky, what do you call it? It's something I do when I make organ sounds. It's to get like that key click function. Sounds like old keys. And it's basically using the same waveform for the oscillator. So it's using a square waveform. And when you mix them together, sounds pretty good. So let's see what we have. Uh, um, I love the Resident Evil games. Well, the original game for the PlayStation, like Resident Evil 1. And I loved the first movie, Resident Evil. I think the other Resident Evil movies are just, they just looks like someone is trying to cash in on the whole Evil thing. Basically, just a franchise money grab. But the first one was actually quite good, even though it didn't really follow any story inside Resident Evil, kind of, but not really. Um, it has this soundtrack made by Marilyn. I almost said Marilyn Monroe, Marilyn Manson, and he's using a sound like that to play a melody in that note, and that's also something I always try to recreate with all synthesizers that I get my hands on. So let's see here. I have some sounds that actually sounds more like real sounds. Um Wait, did I say real sounds? I mean like conventional instruments. I even named it Habs Habs. It's supposed to sound like a harpsichord. Maybe it doesn't, but I think it does. But I want to go further up even because I've really explored this synthesizer to its maximum. Maybe there's still stuff for me to explore, but I've really explored it while making these presets, and that's also another thing why I make presets for a synthesizer. It's the only way I can find out what that synthesizer can do. Not from playing or using presets that are already made. I just want to know what can you do. I might even end up not even using these sounds, even though in this case I have. So let's go to the. Did I go too far? I'm supposed to go to the. Okay, I went too far. Um, right, harpsichord, the fall. Am I? Am I complete there? Oh, sorry. So if we go here to the Hammond, that really sounds like an organ sound. You can even hear that dirt that would come from something like a Leslie, even though it doesn't sound like we got that Leslie on. But I emulated that using the LFO. So it sounds more like a drawbar organ type of sound, and uh, I actually plan on trying to connect a fader, like my dub master, my MIDI controller that I built. I'm trying to, well, I'm thinking of just connecting it so that I can emulate something that would be like drawbars, but I'll have to be really smart about it because drawbars or basically they have this frequency on each bar, and when you mix them up you get these harmonics, and that makes up the sounds. In this case I don't really have that. It's a synthesizer, but you can still get something that sounds like it. It's going to be interesting when I get there. I made another one, organic. Yeah, I try to be smart with my names. I wonder if you can. Do I dare get a little bit more volume out of this thing? Come on, open up. And of course, I love this sound. Oh, and this is coming from Poison-202. And I mean, it's coming from a synthesizer that makes sounds like, where is it? Is it the GIMP sound? Yeah, I love the GIMP sound. I often get the question of how do you make the presets, Jacob? Do you just try out the stuff? Is it just trial and error? No. It used to be that, but no, it isn't anymore. I've done this for so long, so I just know synthesis. That's what it is to me. This is gonna sound bad, but it's just another synthesizer for me. Even though this one is it has got like a really brilliant, spectacular sound to it, and what Jim did to it. Jim is an excellent sound designer. He's an excellent sound designer. He's been listening to Prodigy, and he's been able to recreate sounds with this synthesizer. He even built it so he could emulate stuff that sounds like fuzzed guitars and stuff like that. It's just insane. So again, I just want to say hello to everyone. I can see comments from JP Justin, from Brambos, from Samuel Lindemann, and Bo Beats. Bo, my colleague from Low Pass Podcast. I'll be referencing to that towards the end of this live live stream. Give me a second. Uh, it's actually too late for me to drink coffee right now. Um, I don't care. Right, so let's get back into this. Um, what was it I wanted to show? I wanted to show. I've been talking about that. That's right. I've been talking about the nicer sounds, some of the bass sounds. Also talk about. Let's see here. Yeah, the drumming sounds. Let's go to the drums. I was quite impressed with the way that Poison-202 sounds. And I also like the way that the envelopes work, and also how the pitch envelope works. It makes it quite easy for making drum sounds. And I particularly loved the way you can make drum sounds, like bass drum sounds. Can you hear that? That's a pretty nice sound. Now, the only thing I'm missing here is, I want to sample this sound. And I do know that I can get the plug for Oreo, Oreo, for Aria, but I don't really use Aria. I didn't use it because this screen used to be too small for it. And I even thought it was too small on the normal sized iPads. But this is the iPad Pro 12-inch. So now I could probably use Aria. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, definitely. Because I want a transient designer for it. And for those of you who might not know what a transient designer is, oh my god, you design transients? That's good. It's a way of getting your sounds to become more punchy. It's like having an envelope for the audio itself. So you're basically, well, that's what it is. It's like an amplitude envelope for audio, so you can shape the attack and decay and release for a sound, and that way you can make some really crazy stuff. That's how they make dubstep snares. They basically use like a hold mode, sustain mode, and punching up the sound, so it sounds almost as if it's been overly compressed. So you get this, when you look at the sound like that, it looks like a noise all over the audio file. Did I make that sound weird? Let's get back to this. The snares are pretty nice too. And that's the thing with snares. I've seen many people make snares, and one thing they can't figure out why they can't make the snare sound different from a hi-hat is usually because they forget to put a note in there, a short note. Most snares, real snares, they have this bump in the frequency curve around 200 hertz. It's what's giving it the bottom to the snare. So usually when you make synthesized snare, you emulate that with another oscillator playing a note. And we can hear that if we turn off the noise. As soon as you put in noise, you have something that sounds more snare-like. That's what I like with this synthesizer. There's only one thing that irked me with this synthesizer, is the way that the noise is added lastly in the chain. So it will get added together with the effects, but you can't really filter the noise. Or am I wrong here? Didn't I test this already? Let's try this. We go to the last one here. The District 6 says, I'm doing a great job with my channel, and I am I feel honored that you feel that way and that you like the content so much. I can't find words for how much I appreciate all of you being here and everyone who has ever watched a video of mine, even though they didn't like it, you know. All feedback is welcome. I try to comment back to everyone, and sometimes I just don't have the time. I'll try to get back at it later, and then sometimes I forget, but I do read all comments. I do read, but if I don't answer straight away, it's because either I haven't had time or I've wanted to formulate an answer but haven't been able to. So I'm not ignoring anyone. So thank you for telling me that, the District 6. And I'm glad you like that bass drum, Bo. I love it too. Poison-202 is such a, it's just wonderful. You know, someone asked me, what's the difference between Poison-202 and Sunriser? Well, you could go with either of them. Why I use both of them is mainly because they have two different overall sounds. And that's basically it. And they also work a bit differently in the way that you work them with the modulation and stuff like that. You have a few more options on, well, you have more options on Sunriser on how you can modulate stuff. And you also have that morphing function, so you can morph between two pattern. In the same presets, you have two banks, and each bank can have their unique side of settings. And so you have a scroll wheel where you can modulate between those two preset sets in the same preset. So you basically have two different sounds in one patch. And that's different. But the overall sound of them makes them so dissimilar and in some cases similar. So both of them are at the top of the list when it comes to some really great synthesizers. Let me just show you quick before I go forward with this. This is the first page on my iPad, and it looks the same on my iPad Mini too. And so you see, you have Thor, Poison, you got Nave, Sunriser, and FM4. And if you watch closely, you can see that I've done red, and then a little bit black, and then blue, and then a little bit black with a little bit orange in it, because I'm nerdy like that. So what you see here are my absolute most favorite synthesizers. And you can see some new ones and some old ones. Mainly because they have this particular sound that they do. I will admit that Red Schreickler plus Mersenne and Lawrence and Argon, they're all from the same developer, Satoshi, who is iScare, and they have a somewhat similar sound to them. But as soon as you stop working with them, you realize that they're different, very different from one another. Um, and we have a synthesizer here called Odyssey, and I love the sound of it, but I haven't featured it because I, I'll be honest, I haven't felt like. I haven't been inspired using it yet. It's a well-built piece of app. It sounds incredibly good, and the only thing that makes it different from other synthesizers from that time is the way you're able to mess with things in the sample and hold, because the sample and hold is so much more than a normal sample and hold. You can blend the LFO and envelope and stuff in there, which you couldn't at synthesizers from that time, which this app is emulating. So that makes it different. But there's two guys now on the YouTubes that have made some great videos for it. I don't feel like being the third guy doing that. So I'll probably feature this in something else. But what you see here is what I use very much. And the 5 at the top here is what I use on a daily basis. And if you look down here, you can see that I've got figure there. And that's because I want quick access to it always. I haven't actually opened it on this one yet, but that will probably happen. I've only had this thing for a few days now. So let's get back into it. Is the audio still sounding good? Because I've got the same connections and everything as I usually had. And back in the days, what happened was I got distorted audio because of audio buffering spikes. But now with the new iPad, I don't think we're going to run into that. Yes. So let's check out. Yeah, I'm going to check out this sound first. It's called Beremba. Beremba. I was trying to emulate a berimbau. Berimbau? Berimbau? I don't know how to. Berimbau. I'm not gonna try anymore. It's enough. It's enough right there. Let's see here. Oh, Eve sounds. I always make Eve sounds. Oh, I love that so much. You know what would even be better if we had a big reverb on it? Um, would you be okay if I put a reverb on this while I'm going through some stuff here? Because I really would want that. I think it sounds excellent, and it would be a great way of actually benching or testing this little setup here. So I'm just gonna put a Cubase reverb on here. Please, no pre-delay. Don't want a pre-delay. Like that. Let's see how that sounds. Did I do that correctly? I can't really hear it. Let's add a little more, blend more, a little more. Yeah, I definitely. Oh, I love it so much. It's just, I love making pads, and it's just one of my most favorite genres of sounds to make. Come to think of it, I have many genres that I like to make: drums, bass, keys, plucked, pads, effects. Okay, I like making all sounds. I don't think I have a favorite anymore. I just love doing them. And I have actually been doing this for a long time. I'm gonna make an episode of that sometime. Going back in the archives, looking for sounds and stuff that I made for synthesizers, 10 years back and 15 years back, and you'll see I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've been sharing my presets through different sites. I used to share presets when the internet looked like crap, basically. Let's see here. Hello, everyone new that have found this stream. I'm really happy to see all of you here. So what was I doing? I was playing some sounds. Okay, now I'm starting to get off track here. I had this clear vision that I didn't write down of what I wanted to do. If you check closely through this list, you'll be able to find sounds that I put in here that I actually used in the 8 times Poison-202 track I made. I made a track using my old iPad Mini 1 and Cubasis and just running 8 instances of Poison-202, and those sounds are in here. The drum sounds, the bass, and all of it is in here. And I'm trying to find that sound. It's supposed to be here. Um, where are you? Extort? Nalle? No, warp. Right, it's this one. It's this one. It's this sound. It's running slower than usually though. Could that be because Jim updated this with a tempo lock? Yeah, he did. Right. Ooh, okay, that's a bit too fast for me. Pretty cool though. Now, let's see here. Gray hair rules. Is it that obvious that I have gray hair? Well, it should be. I have really gray hair. I got my first gray hairs when I was, I think, 16 or 15, and I'm 38 now, so I'm surprised I don't have a full set of gray hair. And if you get gray hair, if you're younger than me and you get gray hair, don't pull them out, because those hairs, they've got some really thick and strong roots, and they'll sit there forever if you let them. So yeah, don't pull them out, and don't feel ashamed about that. Don't color your hair or anything. Just keep it simple, and don't let it bother you. If you bother with that, then maybe you're not spending as much time making music as you should. I don't care the way I look. Most of the time. So I don't want to spend time doing that. I just want to spend time doing the fun stuff. And making myself look good, isn't that fun, really? I don't think so anyway. Don't know what you think. Joe O'Hagan asked me if I got the siren in here. And I do have the siren in here. It's just that I can't remember what I named it. Let's see now. Can it be laser? It's definitely not the laser, and now I can hear that I don't want that reverb to be there. So turn that off, and let's go back into the mix here. Okay, that's too far. Oh, it's called siren. Well, so that's the siren I used also for that, and it's the same siren sound that I later on showed with the Mini Nova. I made an episode with the Mini Nova showing how that siren sound is made and what's making it possible, and it's the pitch envelope. Um, yeah, that's interesting. I thought, you know what would be fun, maybe? Let's try to do music with this. Let's see here. I wanna use I want to use that one. That is a bass drum I really like. Now, I'm really nervous now because I never really show people the whole creation process when I'm actually doing it, because I don't like looking like an idiot. Um, you see, Cubasis has been updated, so this is more fluid now than it used to be. And think about this. I've been using Cubasis in its unfluid as as it has been unfluid in several years, I'm used to that. So now I end up scrolling and jumping to places where I don't want to be because I'm not used to this being so fluid. So let's see here. I want to put in some 4 on the floor notes. I know it might be boring, but I don't care. That's a nice one. Let's see here. Let's put in some notes for that. Just do that first. What tempo do I want? Let's go up a bit. Like that. Oh, stupid me. So we need way more bass notes than we already have here. And we're gonna also do that so that it... Oh, what did you do now? Why did you do that? What's this? What is this? This is weird. Look at this. I can't press erase. Is this a thing on the iPad Pro? What the... Come on now, don't do this to me. Not while I'm in a live... Oh, I don't like this. I feel so uncomfortable right now. I feel so uncomfortable. Right. So there we have something going. What the... Okay, so now it's working. I'm so sorry if I look confused, but I am a bit confused. It's not supposed to do that. There we go. Yeah. Right, so I'm liking this. That's not much to like, really. Let's add another one, and we're gonna make that into Poison-202, of course. And let's choose another one of these sounds that I made. We can use... Let's grab a snare, or should we use something that Jim made? That's quite high. That's because I'm probably... Yeah, right. Sorry if I killed your ears there. Wasn't my intention. Can you see the screen well enough? Does this look okay to you? Because it's a bit... what do you call it? A bit fuzzy. The picture is a bit fuzzy. That's very nice. I think that the bass drum it's got a too long of a tail almost. Just like that. Right. Okay, so... Oh, hello, Lynn. And Joe, both Lynn and Joe says that it sounds and looks all right, so that feels good now. Sorry, I just had to refill my coffee meter. Now that we have this going on here, I would normally go for some bass, which would be fine. You see, the first time I actually got into some real proper synthesis, I say that with what citation marks. That is citation marks, isn't it? Either way, was when I think the first real modular synth I ever saw was a buckla. Buckla? In Swedish we say buckla, which means a dent if you translate it into English. Don't know why I said that, but yeah. And it was a buckla, and after that it was some... No, before that I saw this crazy dude. He had this modular system at home in his living room, and he had built it himself. So it wasn't a brand of modulars. He just built the modulars from scratch because he was this genius or something. can't remember if he was a friend of my father's or not, or maybe he was a friend of my neighbor's or something. Either way, I was small, and he explained to me about envelopes and stuff like that, and that stuck in my brain. That stuck in my brain. If y'all got kids, teaching them about that stuff now, it's gonna make it so easier for them to learn everything else afterwards, because everything that came after, like sound processing, and it just made sense to me because I knew what like envelope was and filters, what that really is, and the way that if you want to build a delay, you build a filter, and then you use that to make a delay circuit. And if you know how to do a delay circuit, you know how to do a chorus, a flanger, and a phaser, because they're all built on the same technique. And I knew this from a young age, and from that point it was so easy to go into everything else that had to do with synthesis. So when I see a synthesizer, even if it's got crazy names, I just turn a few knobs and I'll know instantly, okay, that's the cutoff, or that's the attack of the delay, or of the envelope, that's the amplitude envelope, this is the filter envelope, that's the LFO, okay, the LFO has a delay setting for it and stuff like that. And with the modulars, I learned how these are interconnected and how you connect one thing from another, how an oscillator is being controlled by the envelope and stuff like that. So it was so easy to get into all of that stuff later on. Um, so accumulating all that data it wasn't research as much as it was just me having fun and wanting to do more. And I can remember a time when people still used to tell me that if you're using a synthesizer, you're not a real musician. And today I get to hear, well, if you're using an iPad, you're not a real musician. You have it too easy. It's just, I'm sorry, but I just think that line of thought is so backwards, and it keeps you from actually developing and evolving as a musician, because you're setting a barrier in front of yourself, this impassable barrier of you're not of a concept in which you're not real for real, or what you're doing isn't real if it isn't done in a certain way. Very backwards, don't like that one bit. Use whatever you want to use to make music, and don't let anyone tell you what they think it should be. That's just right out bollocks. That's what I think anyway. So let's go into bank C here. I do want some hi-hats. And I'll think I'll use my hi-hat. Lynn Levitt asks if Cubase is more responsive. Oh, you bet. You bet. It's really responsive. It's crazy. I can't. Did I just make that? Do I have the pen marked? Okay, this might be a bug, uh, because it's actually the first time I really use Cubasis for producing music. So it might just be a bug. Something that I miss on the desktop is that on the desktop, when I use Cubase, you had this little brush tool so that you could put down your finger and just brush away, and it will fill in notes according to the quantization grid. But here I have to do it manually, which is incredibly annoying. Let's do some synth pop. I love synth pop. Synth pop used to be a big thing in Sweden. It still kind of is. Just yesterday, I think, there was this nerd meet in Stockholm, where a lot of nerds get together, and it's called like the Bit Disco, Bit Shape, or something like that. A lot of my friends and people I've learned, people I've gotten to know since I moved to Stockholm, because I'm not from here originally. They went to that place and they brought their all their devices like modulars and pocket operators and figure on an iPad and stuff. I think David Ventura from he used to be employed at Propellerheads. Now he's one of the guys running Allihopa. He went there. I think I saw some pictures there. And so like synth pop and this nerd thing with music and games is it's a big part of Sweden, and what makes us who we are. And I think that's why you can find these companies like Klevgren Produktion, like Klevger and Propellerhead, and all of these people just making some awesome stuff. I just, yeah, thinking back on my childhood, it was filled of music in Pro Tracker or trackers with the Amiga, and music with the Atari, and even programming some piano things with the Commodore 64. It's just, yeah, it was a lovely childhood like that. We were privileged not to be in a war or anything, where we could actually be kids and do that thing, you know? And even though I don't come from the richest of house, to a Swedish standard, almost poor, my mother and father, they worked their asses off to provide for me and my brother. And even though the family had to suffer for it, they made sure that we had some of the technology that was new there. So yeah, we had to suffer in some way, but it paved the way for me sitting here talking with all of you right now and doing this and doing the things I do with my channel. So I'm eternally grateful for my mother and father who did that for me. They're amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. Even though you really just you couldn't, but you did. You found a way, and that's what I feel every day I wake up and feel like I can't do this. I'm so tired. I think back to what my parent has went through. I think back to all the struggles that other people and some of my viewers have had. Some of you have wrote to me and told me about stuff, and I think about all of you, and you just spur me on to continue doing this. So I have to. If I don't make new episodes, if I don't do that, uh, how am I doing anything better? I'm just, I can't wake up and not do anything. I have to have a goal. It's something to live for, you know? So let's choose a base for this. Um, Sorry for the deep talk. I'm so, I so easily get joined up in that. Oh, too loud. Let's see here. That's that one, right? Should be. That's a nice sound. I kind of like that. So, again, I'm doing these. What's happening? Is it only when I've been inside the mixer? Yeah, that might be the bug. I'll tell Steinberg about that. Um, Usually, I can see a lot of people get angry when they find bugs in their programs. I don't get that angry. I just tell the developers about it, and I try to find a way around it, or try to get used to the problem until it goes away. I'm lazy like that. Let's do this. Yeah, that's the wrong notes, isn't it? I'm supposed to go down. Let's see here. I want to go down to. I want to go down a whole octave actually with this, and just. Oh, I'm lazy. I'm just gonna copy this, double it up like that, paste it, and then another one like that. Right. So let's try to make something more with this. I'm gonna add some. Let's see here. Hey Jacob, I was wondering if I could see some ARP Odyssey. William Gunning. Um, yeah, you might have missed a bit in where I said I haven't featured ARP Odyssey yet because I love it. I think it's great. It sounds awesome. It sounds very much like the real thing with all of its quirks and everything that it had when it came out. Because it's just it's a they've made a proper copy. Korg has made a proper copy of it, of the real thing. It's just that I haven't been inspired, but I might just add some ARP Odyssey into this when we get a little further. And I know that a lot of people have been asking me about ARP Odyssey. So since you're a part of why I'm doing what I'm doing on this channel, I will make it into a mission to put that on my to-do list. So I will make an ARP Odyssey featured video for the future. So you stay tuned for that. But I might put in some right here now. But right now I don't feel like to I don't feel like I don't really feel like it right now. So so I hope you're okay with that right now. But I'm gonna try to add it later on. Do you like that? I kind of like that. Now, how about we modulate that? That would be awesome, wouldn't it? So, how did you do that again? Was so long a time ago since I actually did the modulation inside Cubasis. I usually record my stuff and modulate the actual plug itself in real time. That way I can get a more humanized touch to it. But in this case, I'm gonna try to use the modulation lane here. Okay, so let's make this double the length. Remove that. Did I just create? I created another box, didn't I? Erase that. Erase that. Stop doing that, jeez. Come on now. Let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot of you that likes ARP Odyssey. I know. Some people were angry with me for not putting it on my top 10 list. But as I said in that top 10 list, I only feature apps that I use a lot, and I haven't been using ARP Odyssey a lot, so that's why I didn't think that it should be on that list, basically. Besides, I had other Korg stuff on that list, so I think Korg is as far as Korg goes, they're pleased anyway, if they even care about haQ. I know that some of the developers do, and I love their work and what they've done with Gadget, which I will also live stream with further on, not today, but at a further date. Further date? At the date? Never mind. Right, so let's try to record this. I want to record that filter movement. So let's give me some space to do that. Is the metronome gonna kill you now? I mean, kill your ears. Let's pull that volume down. You know, you have to think about everything, and you have to consider everyone else listening to the stream when you're doing stuff like this. I'm thinking that the metronome isn't that bad right now. Right, so I hope you aren't bored yet. I've been streaming for an hour. Let's see here. Do I need that much of a counting? Do I need that much of a counting? That's the wrong place. I wanted to go into the mixer and to the filter, and let's see here. Okay, so let's try to make that. Did that work? Did I? Yeah, I'm liking the way that sounds. I'm gonna add one more thing to this. Let's add some kind of a paddish sound with Poison-202. Um, some synthesizers prove to be some sounds are harder to create with some synthesizers than other synthesizers. It's hard to make certain sounds with some synthesizers. Some synthesizers can, like all of them, can make most sounds. But then comes along a synthesizer that can, like, how do I explain this without sounding absolutely stupid? Um, okay, I'll keep that line of thought. I'll try to explain it when I get a better thread to put out there, something you can reel in, maybe knit a little sweater out of, something that makes sense, because I'm not making a lot of sense right now. So let's go to the pads. Where did I put the pads? Oh yeah, from 60 or something, I think. So right there. Okay, right there. There we have it. That's kind of a good sound. Now, that sound could be pretty cool if we could link that to the tempo and then maybe pump that using the bass drum and putting in a compressor in there to sidechain it with. That could be cool. So let's try that. I'm gonna try to record just one record. I'm gonna draw in a note, to be honest. Um, The reason why I'm not playing my stuff, I do that when I'm alone, but not when everyone's watching, because it's so obvious how bad I am at it. I'm allowed to make myself look good on camera at least. I don't spend that much time doing it in the mirror, even though there's a mirror here right now. What? Is it? Oh, sorry. Drawing? Right, so here comes the quirky bit with. Oh, come on. Oh, Cubase, please just work with me. Please, just. No, 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 I don't want. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. Thank. Okay, it's longer. I'll just. Oh, okay. So I'll just copy this one and do that. And that should be a thing now. Right. So they're not tuned to each other. I kind of don't like that. I'm gonna choose another pad. Or I could just tune this one instead, but that's probably gonna take me longer, and I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna choose something else. Not that one. Right here. Wait, let's solo that. Sorry, I removed myself. Um, solo, solo. I forget that I'm routing my audio through Cubasis. And so when I take solo on something else, then the microphone goes away. Let's see here. It's pretty cool because you can cross modulate the LFOs, so you can get LFO2 to affect the frequency and the shape of how it looks, and how it behaves of LFO1, which is awesome. So you can get some really interesting results there. That's why it's Poison-202 is also so good when you want to make pads, because with pads, like in Nave, it's easy to make long pads in where you have stuff happening a lot and in different values over a long period of time. Now, with something like Poison-202's cross modulation for the LFOs, that becomes even more interesting. Sure, you have less modulation sources, you don't have anything like Nave that you can actually modulate everything, but just that little bit of cross modulation, being able to feed one wave to modulate another wave, and when it comes to the LFO, is extremely, extremely powerful. It's a great tool for making interesting stuff over a longer period of time. And so if you look at my pad presets, I've done that with a lot of them. And even with some other presets, I think I've done that. Or mostly the pads. Yeah, mostly the pads, I think. So let's try to pump this with the sound from this one. So this is the bass drum, and in the input of the insert, let's choose an inter-app audio thing here. Now it's gonna get interesting. Inter-app audio hasn't been the best thing with iOS yet, and audio units also leave something to desire because of how presets are being saved or not being saved and stuff. So we have a Chromatica push right there, and what we need is the key input so that we can feed the bass drum into push, so for the sidechain to listen to. So that's the key input right there. And then we need to send that to this channel where we're actually going to pump the sound. So inter-app audio, and we go to the push right there. And let's see here. I'm trying to keep up with your comments too at the same time. It's not easy, but let's if we press down the sidechain filter so we can filter the signal, and then sidechain monitor. Is it playing? Hello? Why am I not hearing anything? Did I do something wrong? Oh! Sorry. Right, so this is the signal we're hearing right now. So that's a pretty cool sound to have for our song here. And so far we're only using Poison-202 sounds. I don't know how many verbal fights I've gotten into with earlier producer friends about like you have to use either you can't use samples or you have to use samples, and many of my friends are like, you can't make good drum samples with synthesizers, and they fail to realize that many of these drum samples, especially of synthesized drums, are drum synths. Like they've been recorded from drum synths, and then they'd be processed with compressors and envelope shapers like transient designers and stuff like that. Um, and so we get into fights over that fact, because I can't back down. When someone tells me that I'm wrong, and I know I'm not, I just can't back down. That's a bad trait. You know, sometimes it could be good walking away, but sometimes not. I don't know what I wanted to say with that. So what I want to do is filter off some of the frequencies here. So I'm going to use a studio equalizer. Right. And so I realized that the bass might not fit right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another grid, 1/16th, and I'm going to do this, that, and shorten these down, and then move these, wait, there, copy them, paste, and now I have notes. Did I just choose? Oh, Jakob, I wasn't supposed to change the drums. I was supposed to change the bass. I'm so sorry. I can't believe this. Right. So we're on track here. Which one is the bass? This is why I like naming stuff. Let's just do. This is how I make music, right? So it doesn't say Poison-202. It says BD for bass drum. And then the other one is snare, and so we call that SD. SD. Wait, big D. It's important for me. I didn't mean to rhyme there. And then we have this thing, and that's. I'm getting so confused here. This is the bass, right? No, it's not. It's the hi-hat. Good one, Jakob. Oh, you're so smart. Everyone can see how smart you are, right? I can't even keep track of my own stuff when I'm doing it. That's why I've always been like this. That's why I have to name everything. It's not HH, it's a closed hat, then it's CH. Right. And the next one, that should be the bass. And we're going to use the same for that. Copy. Let's make it so. Not undo, redo. Okay, did we last. What happened? I hope we. Right, so we need to fix this. This is the wrong one. We need to go down. We need to go down to a whole octave with this. It might be too low, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it like that. Copy this one. Alright, we can't really hear that bass, too long of a notes. Let's see here if we can fix that. Is that, am I at the right place? sounds pretty cool. I don't know what you think about that. Can you name the track, the bass track, with a fish emoji? Huh. I don't know. Let's see here. Bass. Because if I can, then I'm gonna do that in the future. Okay, is there a fish in here? I haven't. I don't really. Well, I do use emojis for text SMSs. Is there a fish in here? Now everyone's gonna be like, Jakob, it's right there. It's right there, Jakob. How can you not see it? All right, so we have a few fishes here. They don't look like bass to me. I think that this thing is the closest one to a bass, even though it's not. So since I like being funny, then I'm gonna make this cow into a thing, and it just looks like it's very tiny. Can't even see that. Let's give it some company here. We have fish and chicken and a snake. Synthesis 101 with Jakob. What did he do? Well, he basically sat and input some emojis into the track names of Cubasis. Sounds like a good stream there. Right. I'm still not satisfied with the sound from this pad here. Yeah, that sounds better. And let's raise the raise the temperature, 132 BPMs. Okay, so I would love to play something to this. Oh, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. I didn't want to do this. I don't want to play it live. Ah, sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Turn on the volume. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. So let's go for a one of my lead sounds. Yeah, one of the lead sounds. It kind of reminds me of Zelda, like the games. Uh, yeah, the games are called Zelda, but Zelda is actually the princess. The guy in the green coat is Link. I always mix that up. I always, never mind. Can we make this sound really weird? I would love for this to sound crazy. Let's see here. I want to try to add some weird modulation to it, and try some cross modulation. So let's try to mess with the pitch of this. Let's make it even weirder. Sample and hold. I don't know if I'm going to be able to work with that, but we might use that to build something that happens in the background of the track, which would be pretty cool. Where did the remove button go? Am I doing something weird again? Never mind. Is it just me, or isn't there supposed to be a remove button here? Uh, ah, there it is. Okay, so that's good, I guess. So we're gonna. Oh, come on! Don't do this to me now. This is a problem when you're working with audio units, and this happens with everyone. And even though I'm running an iPad Pro with what is it, like 4 gigs of memory and everything, we're not running much else on it. We still have this problem, and this is a known problem on the iOS platform. It's a known problem that when you're using multiple audio units, this thing might happen. And the worst thing is, if nothing happens while you're working on your project, and then the day after when you open it, it comes back destroyed, basically. And if you're working with plugins that doesn't have its own preset system, then when it reloads the plugin and it fails and you press reload, what happens is it reloads it up to its default mode. So if there's no way to save presets, you're gonna lose whatever changes you did in it. So I hope Apple can get its act together and fix this. Really. So what does this sound like now? As you can hear, we just lost whatever we did. So here we come to a point where I am going to do something that I normally do with iPads like the iPad Mini 2 or the Mini 1. I did loads of projects with the Mini 1. And what I did was I bounced the project just to make sure that I had my settings straight. I'm already satisfied with how the bass drum sounds. So I'm going to disappear now from the microphone because I need to mute everything else but the bass drum. What the hell? Yeah, I forgot about that. Is my audio still going out? I All right. So now we have a little problem. It seems like I might need to restart Cubasis. So you can see that we still have these issues with audio units, and even though I've got a stronger, faster, bigger iPad, it's not a solution. This problem will still crop up. So what I'm going to do now is, oh no, no. See, I think we might have lost all the sounds. Okay, okay, that's one. Okay, that's two. Still in the clear here. Still in the clear here. But all the cows are quiet right now. Yeah, reload, please. Okay, right. So that seems to be working. And if I open this one now, okay, so that one we did lose. We did lose that one. And what I had chosen was the siren, my siren, and we started to do some weird stuff with it. So let's just keep it as it is right now, unless I want to bounce everything. I might have to do that either way. And this is weird. So we've got my microphone loaded, and it's running with some plugs, and then we have some effects on. We have 2 tracks here. This one we don't use. We'll remove that one. We don't need that one. I do like having it there though. So I'm gonna keep it there. And then we have this one, and this is the okay, so this one isn't loaded yet, right? So what I think I'm going to do, this is going to be really interesting now. This is going to be interesting. This I haven't done. If I do bounce this, and I do mute the bass drum, then that signal, is that still going to go through for the sidechain? Right. So we're going to try that once again. Of course not. Of course we don't get that pumping there. And that's interesting. In Gadget, you can do that. In Gadget, you can mute a drum track and export the track, even though you have a compressor listening to it, a sidechain compressor listening to that channel. You can mute it, you can run it like that muted, you can export it muted, and it will still pump. It will still use that signal. But in Cubasis, it seems to be using the audible signal that you really need to have it on. So that basically means I'm gonna have to export it like this. Meaning we are now stuck with the bass drum in here, together with our sound. And you know what? I don't care. I'll find a way to work. Hello, am I back? Can you hear me? I hope you can, because I lost everything. So we're getting all kinds of issues here. Obviously, I can't run as much stuff as I want because we've got multiple things going on here. Um, and let's see here. What do I do now? I already exported that. I removed that. I'm gonna try to remove this one now. Like that. Okay, so that's removed. I seem to still be on the air, I think. That's good. So now we're only working with 4 instances of Poison-202. And what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna mute this, and my microphone, and just bounce out the hi-hat and the snare. Right, so now that's bounced. I'm just gonna delete this. We don't need that. And it might click now. It didn't. There we go. And now we can add some audio tracks instead. And we can put our bounced audio in there. So we have the bass drum with the pumped pad in it. And then we have the snare and the hi-hat right there. And this is how I did it while I made the Amitabha track, the Sapmi track, the 300 days track on my iPad Mini 1, and I had more tracks running with audio in them than I have currently here. And since I've got so much memory over, like RAM, I've got loads more on this one than I have on the other one, and that's what you need when you're working with audio, because it needs to store all that all the data for the WAV files in a RAM. And the more you have, the more wave you're going to be able to work with without having the software trying to run stuff up to the RAM and down to the disk and try to lift stuff like that. That's basically how it works. I don't know if it exactly works on the on iOS and Mac, Apple and stuff as it does on PC, but that's how it worked on PC and works on PC, I think. So now that we now that we bounced this, I want to try to put some siren sounds in here. Right, right. Something like that. So let's turn on the metronome? The metronome. Let's turn on the metronome. Okay, not that, this one. So there we have something that sounds silly and fun at the same time. And we're gonna try to put this in the background so it creates an atmosphere. Right. So the first thing we're going to do is to compress the sound like an incredible amount. Pull down on the compressor as soon as you load a new compressor inside Cubasis. It's at its default, it loads it up in plus 10 decibels. I've killed my ear so many times because of me forgetting that. I just wish that Steinberg wouldn't do that. Just leave it at 0 decibels. We can set our own volumes, right? So there we have it, very compressed. And let's put a delay in here. And I want to make it a crazy delay. So let's use the, not the tape delay. Or do we use the tape delay? We use the tape delay. Yeah, there we have something. Only we need to cut off even more of the actual frequency spectrum. I want this to sizzle through. What do you think? It's a bit crazy there on the delay. I mean, the feedback would need to be managed a bit. But what I want is I want there to be like a carpet in the background, just filling out some of the frequencies and laying the ground for the upper frequencies, something for the upper frequencies and the leads to attach to. The only problem I get with that is that when I do this, since leads you usually use them in higher octaves, they can sometimes phase with all that with that carpet in the back when I make it like this. So it gets tricky, and I usually take that into consideration when I create the presets for a project like this. And so what happens is I use a bandpass filter for the lead and try to dial it into a tone in where there's little of as little as possible of the frequencies that the carpet is doing. Does it make sense? Maybe I should just show you what I mean. Right, so I've limit this carpet to between 200 hertz, well, actually from 500 and up to 20k, but we're gonna make it even narrower in the upper frequency. Like that. And then when we put the lead in here or create a lead for this, I'll try to make the lead so that it's situated around this area between 500 and 200, 2000 hertz. The next problem you come to then is when you start putting in vocals, because the vocals wants to occupy that exact same space between 1k and 2k hertz. And then you have to get tricky again. And what I do then is I use a compressor sidechain so that the vocals will duck the lead sound or something like that. And that way you can get a balanced sound. Okay, so what I did there was I tried, since we have the bass drum mixed in together with that pad sound, I'm just trying to cut away the frequencies I don't want. And in this case, I went against my principle of actually subtracting stuff only. So I put a little bump around 100 hertz because I want the bass drum to just kick through there. And I want the bass, the actual bass, to bring up the part around 50 hertz and up to 100 or something like that, so they won't fight with each other. That's too much. I still want that filter thing we did with it now is just going away. That's bad. Okay, so what I have to do there to make the bass in a way so that we can hear the filter is that I have to just pull down on all the frequencies around 200 hertz, 500 hertz. So just so that the snare won't fight there, and also the actual tone of the bass is around here, right where I filtered off everything for the crazy siren thing. Can clearly hear that. So let's see here. Joe asks if the FX pack for Cubasis are good, and what he's talking about is in the shop here, you have two FX packs, and in the first pack there's the tape delay, stereo delay, long delay, stereo width, non-linear reverb, early reflections. Um, let me and in pack two there's the pan tremolo, rotary speaker, bit reduction, talkbox, wah-wah pedal, and enhancer. I'll say this: all of these effects are really, really good. What I use all the time is the tape delay, and in this pack, that's what I use, the tape delay. And in FX Pack 2, I use the rotary speaker, the bit reduction, the talk box, and the wah-wah pedal. So I use a lot more stuff inside the FX Pack 2 than I use in FX Pack 1. But for the price you pay for both packs, just paying that same price for the tape delay, only the tape delay is worth that price. So if you're asking me if it's worth it, yes, definitely. They're cheap compared to what they would have cost on desktop, and they're still as good. So I don't have any problems recommending anyone buying these. I will, however, say that these are made in a way so that you can make and get more retro sounds out of your sessions inside Cubasis than if you would say like modular, modern, modern stuff. They don't sound like modern effects, but you can still use them in a modern setting with modern stuff. I mean, a lot of people go out of their way to get some old spring reverbs just to put their dubstep sirens through and stuff like that. So that doesn't limit anyone to do anything. But the price of just for just the tape delay, that price alone is worth it. And then you get like five other effects. So they're good and they're worth the price, definitely. So I don't want to tweak this too much. I want to design a lead for this. Um, and I can also hear that we could need a, short room reverb uh, for for the um, for the snare and the hi-hat, either a short reverb or a long reverb. I like long reverbs because we can get all those brittle frequencies to just fill out space, but we're doing that with the siren. So let's not fight more there. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna use an effect from the pack that I haven't done. So I haven't used it so much before. I just haven't found any real uses for it. I don't like early reflection reverbs, but we're gonna use it for this. So you can hear the difference there. Let's try to tweak this a bit. What? How do you... Oh yeah, stupid me. So we've gotten a bit more character out of that one, and what we're going to do now is just to put a compressor on here, and down with that again. Stop, stop that. Right, so I was thinking I was only gonna stream for 2 hours today, and I'm already streamed for 1 hour and 40 minutes, and I haven't really had the time to talk all uh, about synth. s- s- Okay, I I haven't really spent that much time talking about preset design as much as I really wanted to. But I also, at the same time, don't want to bore you. So I was already planning of making music with the Poison-202 sounds. So I hope you like that too. I will be making more sessions in the future in where I go through preset creations, but they'll probably just end up like this in where I talk about it a little bit and then we move on to doing that. But I'm thinking um, soon enough I'm gonna have to round it up. But I want to have a Q&A if you want to, if you feel like you're up to it. Some of you are watching from the US, so it's a different time zone for you. And some of you are watching from Germany and England and Sweden, and we're basically on the same time zone here. So I know that some of you might have to go to bed or something. You got work tomorrow and stuff. But I want to do a Q&A, so if you have any questions, you can start typing them down here. Um, and Irja Puska is saying maybe you should do 4 hours and 5 hours. From Rodolfo Ruiz, he says 5 hours. Hello, Argentina. I mean, Rodolfo is from Argentina, so hello, Rodolfo. Yes, I will be making longer live streams. I just have to practice my voice more, so I won't. I'm not Markiplier, so I can't sit for hours and just do this. I haven't done this for years, so I need more practice. But I want to do longer live streams, at least so that more people can join in whenever they have time. As I said, some is watching from the UK, from the US, and I had one person telling me that he lives in Sydney, Australia, and one in Hong Kong. And usually when I live stream, it's like late night over there. So yeah. I also have a few announcements. I want to say something what I'm working on at later on. So um, I'm just gonna tweak a little bit more and make a lead, and then I'm gonna tell you something that I'm doing right now. It's something important for the mobile music uh, format as a thing in the world. And I'll also answer questions. So if you have any questions about anything, then just um, and ask them, and I'll try to answer them. So let's try to make a lead sound. Way, I talk way too much. Jacob, you talk too much. You talk too much. More music, less talking. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go on a let's go on a roll here. Let's bring in something else. Now, someone did ask me if I could bring in some other synth. It was what was it? It was, let's see here. Um, Now I'm not sure I should do this because that synthesizer is so heavy. Hey, where is it? It's called ARP Odyssey. Someone was asking me to do that. Have I gone past? Wait, is ARP Odyssey available as an interrupt audio unit thing? I haven't checked. Have I? I haven't checked, have I? Because these are the audio units, and you don't have audio units with those. So ARP Odyssey isn't. I could probably load it up. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do this now. I'm really sorry. Um, no, I'm not going to do this now. I'm really sorry. I might have to do a different session for that, like using Audio Bus or something. I will be using it probably when I do the gadget streamings. So let's just load up another Poison-202 here and see what we can get going. So we can start from just a new sound here. Yeah, yeah, you're right, all of you. Yeah, I was hoping that you could load up ARP like that, which would, I think many people would have liked that, but you can either use it as standalone, as I've tried it, or in Gadget. But then it's not called Gadget, it's called it's got another name, something like that. Oh my God, I killed myself again. Why do I do this, Jacob? I'm sorry. Hope I didn't wreck your ears there. Okay, so we want this to be a lead. So let's go up to 12. And let's choose this. I like square waves for bass and for leads because it's such a strong signal. And it's like, I mean, a square wave is basically what you make everything from. You just filter it off to make triangular waves and force it into saw waves and also shave off the edges to make sine waves. But square waves is that's the root of synthesis. Maybe that's why I like it so much. I love that sound. Right. So now comes the point where not being able to know music theory is bad, because what I basically do is I just sit down and play around until I hear notes that I like. That's why I don't make videos like that, because it will just be half an hour of me trying to find the right note. And I don't have any problems with that when I'm making music. I don't care because I'm having fun. But how fun is it for everyone else just watching me search for the right note for a half an hour? No, no. So what I would like to do is to get some. I need to put a de-esser on that thing. Ah, I should probably load up Espresso next time. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I use Espresso to process my voice for all my episodes. That's why you don't usually hear that bad S note that I produce with the gap between my teeth. I despise that sound. I think it's a horrible, horrible sound. Let's tweak that. Right. Um, okay, so I definitely need this to be a bit more. Let's see here, and that one up a bit. So fine tune it up a few cents and down a few cents on the other. Right, and up an octave. No, we'll do it like that. So Mark Me Up One asks me if I've seen the sneak peek of Beatmaker 3. No, I haven't. Don't be angry with me now. I don't use Beatmaker because I'm fine with using Cubasis and I'm fine with using Gadget. There's many DAWs I don't use. Beatmaker, I haven't started using FL Studio yet, even though I used it on the DAW on the computer back in the days. I don't use Auria because I thought it was too fiddly. Beatmaker, I don't have any thoughts about it. I don't think anything of it because I haven't used it because I already have what I have. But I've been promising myself and some other people, I regret promising them that because it's taken some time. I haven't even gotten into looking at Beatmaker 2. So I know that one of my good friends, Jesper Jones, who is also one of the best electronica musicians out there, he's just, oh, I just love his music. He uses Beatmaker, I think, and I wanted to remix his music, and he said, "Yeah, sure. Just do you use Beatmaker? I'll send you the project." And I'm like, yeah, could you just send me the waves? And he's like, why? So that's one of the most compelling reasons for me to use Beatmaker at this time, to be able to remix Jesper Jones's music. All right, so um, I'm gonna try to look at it, but I haven't seen the sneak peek. Uh, don't know where to find it. And you can't really put links in here because I have the spam filter on, mostly to hinder off trolls if we ever get them in the chat room. But that also means you can't post links. But what you can do when the video is done, when the live stream is done, when we're done here, you can post a link in the comment section. I do allow that. It might get into the spam folder, but I will always clear it if I see that it's not a dangerous link or something like that. Yes, right. Too much talking, Jakob. I already know what I want to do. I want to do an arpeggio, and I don't want to use the arpeggiator. I always draw in my arpeggios. So that's what I'm going to do. This is kind of a psytrance track anyway, so why not? Why not do that? Let's see if I can draw some notes in here. Okay. That's a boring arpeggio, isn't it? But it's gonna be interesting soon enough, I promise. Wait, don't promise stuff. Right? This sounds really interesting, doesn't it? This must sound great to you guys, right? I mean, come on. And sorry for saying guys. I know there are females looking at this, and when I say guys, I don't mean guys like boys or males. I thought that Americans used guys to say guys like to everyone, both female and male. Am I right in that, or am I wrong? Is it the correct use of the phrase of the term? I mean, remember, uh, I've been speaking English my whole life, but I'm Swedish. I live in Sweden, so I haven't gotten the finer things from societal language things. I make everything sound weird. What's wrong with me? Okay, so let's see here. Jesus, that's crazy. So I know what to do now. It sounded fun when we only had like a few notes. Yeah, it's probably in reverse now. Yes, of course it is, Jakob. So I'm just gonna use the first one here because that one doesn't sound like an idiot made it. Let's see here. I'm a big Lutz Lutz Lutz. I'm very clumsy. I'm very clumsy. Yeah, okay, that works for me. It's not my best thing, but I'm I'm just doing this. of see how lazy I am? Instead of going in and actually deleting that note I didn't like, I'm just gonna copy and paste the new one like that. Ah, so lazy. That melody is gonna get boring quite fast, and that's when you need to modulate stuff and make it interesting. Wonder what happens if we turn on an arpeggio now. Maybe it's too short for that? Okay, so that delay doesn't work. I want a stereo delay, and maybe we could do that instead with the stereo delay. That's also another thing that you get inside Cubasis when you buy the first FX pack. So you get the stereo delay. Okay, so now what I'm feeling is that it's not a lead, it's an arpeggiator. It's an arpeggiated sound, and it's starting to sound annoying to me. So I'm gonna turn this down. Right, so this sounds good. And then maybe we transpose this instead, a whole octave down. I'm gonna end the live stream snoot, well, at least the building part, and we're gonna get into some other stuff, just answering some questions. And then we raise that to that annoying position. And then we can do the same here, or we could just take it in instances. So the first one, we split this. So it's split there, and that one is at the same octave, and then we take the next one. This is how you do lazy editing. And then split that one, and I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to transpose that down an octave. And then I'm going to split this one too. And let's have that at the same octave, and then we're going to raise it one octave instead. Like that. So the last one is more interesting than the other. So that's what we're going to do. Can't really hear the last bit there, but that's where we've gotten so far. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this project. I'm not going to do anything stupid as I did with my Mini Nova video. I think it was when I turned the Mini Nova off without saving my preset. Joe O'Hagan was the only one that noticed that, I think, and he asked me if did you just lose your preset, Jacob? Didn't want to answer him, but he was right. I did lose my presets. Yeah, Jim, I can see you smiling there. So I'm glad that my demise can bring him happiness to someone else. I'm so dumb sometimes. I can't believe it. Right. So let's see here. I'm gonna go through a bit of your comments, and I'm gonna say something. In March, there is two things happening. There's gonna be a mobile music streaming thing. Well, there's gonna be a meet in Berlin. I'm not gonna be there personally at the first thing. There's actually two events we're talking about here, and let's see here. Now we have the iPad Pro. Dare we go into um, what do we call it? Safari? No, I'm not gonna do that. Either way, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna be live on that event. They're gonna be talking with me on FaceTime. That's gonna be like the 3rd of March, I think. So it's real soon. It's gonna be about mobile music and stuff like that. And then later on, the week after that, on the dates, I think it's like the 7th of March and also the 10th and 11th of March. There's gonna be courses at the Berlin Institute of something. I They do music there. There's scholars, there's students there, there are tutors there, and they've invited me to come there. So it's paid work. I'm going to be working those for at least 2 days, might be three. I think it's 3 days for workshops and stuff, all about music making. I hope that someone will be capturing it on video. I'm gonna make sure to capture some myself this time. I didn't do that during the Bylarm event, and that video footage isn't out. It's not on my table. So I'm gonna try to make some arrangements and get it all documented. It's gonna be interesting. It's highly uh, it's um, it's an important event. There's going to be a load of people there. I'm going to be able to meet up with people like Peter Kern from CDM, from Creative Digital Music. There's going to be Sebastian Dittman from Audiobus is going to be there, and loads of other developers, about hundreds of people, all developing, tutoring, and little old Jacob's going to be there because I do everything on iOS. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then later on, I'm going to travel to the UK, to Leeds, to a music school there, and we're going to run a masterclass, it looks like. So I'm in talks with Jonathan Vipond right now. He's a guitarist, he runs this music school, and that's going to be interesting too. So we're going to do a thing on mobile music making. He's going to start courses there that it's going to be open for other people's other than the people already attending as students. So people, it's a paid thing. I think it's like £25 or something for a class, and it's gonna be like 4 or 5 hours. I haven't gone live with this yet, with this information. This is just, we're talking about it right now. I have been booked. It's a thing, but we don't have all the details. But that's what it looks like. I'm hoping that I'm gonna be invited to more things. And this is what I wanted to do. I want to be able to go around the world and teach and show people and share experiences on how to make music with iOS, make videos for developers. It's what enabled me to have this iPad Pro here. I was planning to buy a new one, but it would have taken me to late summer or later than that to even get one, and I wouldn't be able to buy the big one. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to say. Looking forward to a lot of interesting meetings with the intelligent people making our tools, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna try to get some interviews with people. So I'll tell you when to stay tuned on my channel. I might even do live things like, uh, sorry, live stream and stuff, so that you can like like questions to some of these people if I'm able to. Yeah. So if you have any questions, I'm gonna try to answer them, and I'm gonna scroll through the list here now, and like can't see here. Joe Hagen says you need to do an edit out of the takes for this stream. Yeah, I know, Joe. Okay, I do have an iPad now that has the storage so that I could actually download a 1 hour, 2 hour stream and cut it up if I want. Do you know how how incredibly much I don't want to do that? I don't have any troubles doing it with the episodes because it's not that much material I have to go through. But if I try to do that with a 2 hour video, it's gonna take me a day. Um, and I can't fill my channel with outtakes. I can't do that. That's why I keep them for the vlogs. I keep them for the vlogs. So anyone who watches from the beginning to the end, I want to reward you with something, and that's the outtakes. I know some people told me they just skip through the end to see it because they might not want to hear me talk for 5 minutes. But I don't care. If you find something you like about my videos, I don't care about what you don't like about my videos. It's not important. So let's see here. Well, it's important if it's something seriously wrong with my videos. If I'm giving you wrong information, then I will listen and I will change it. Don't have any problems with that. But if someone tells me I don't like this, then I don't care. Yeah. So let's see here. Um, Sharky39, if you're still here, you asked if this is an iPad Air 2. I don't know if you were asking me. If you were asking me, no, is an iPad Pro 13 inch, or 12.9. And this is the iPad Mini 1, if you're still here. So that's what the iPad Mini 1 is like. It's like two of these in screen size. Right, so let's go through this. Can I find any more? You're having some really nice discussions here, everyone. Mm, I can't I can't find any questions right now. Um, Tosborn says exciting stuff. I hope Audiobus 3 is out by the time you get to Berlin. Yeah. Um, it's gonna be an interesting year this year, and that's all I can say about it. I don't know what to expect from this year, really. I just know that developers are working like crazies to give us new stuff and things. Yeah, I am so annoyed by that thing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this before I keep on checking. So if you have any questions, go ahead, just ask me them. Otherwise, I might just end the stream now in a few minutes, because I've already run past the 2 hour uh, time limit of that I've set up for myself actually. And my girlfriend is in the sofa in the living room. She's waiting. She's going. She usually likes to go to bed around this time, and I work between 10 in the day and 4 in the morning. So I'm a night worker, and that's when I am most creative, and it's also when most Americans are awake. And since I talk to a lot of American developers and stuff, I need to be awake that time too. So it's kind of a good time zone span for me to get in touch with a lot of people. Besides, I like the nights, I do, and I like the cold and the dark, and yeah, I'm a bit weird like that. So since I can't find any apparent questions. I'm gonna end the live stream. Um, so when the video goes up, if you could do me a favor of maybe coming back to it when the video is up and out for everyone to see, just type in if you have any thoughts about what I could have talked about, something I missed talking about when it comes to presets, preset design, and I'll keep it in mind. Um, I'll keep it in mind for the um, future streamings. I think. Let's see here. Um, Mark Me Up says Jakob just got Cubasis with an Allen and Heath ZI10FX, so your vids are really helpful for beginners. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. Have fun with that, by the way. It sounds awesome. Yuri Puska asks how how can I come up with a question? I don't know how to I don't know how to interpret that. Either I can interpret it in two ways. Like no, I don't know how to interpret that, but I'll take it as a comment. Um, well, if you have any questions, if you have anything, then when the video goes up, just come back to it, comment something, tell me if there's something you want me to talk about in the future. It could be anything, but specifically about preset design, if it's something I didn't take up. If I talk too much, tell me that too. If I'm not saying interesting stuff enough or something like that, I just want to get better at this, and I can only do that with the help of you. And as I said, I'll listen to critical feedback as long as it's as people expand on it. I don't listen to comments like "you're shit" or "I hate this" or "brush your teeth" or stuff like that. I've gotten those before. Don't really bother me, but they don't really tell me why this person didn't like it. So I deem them as trolls. But when someone has told me, sometimes someone has told me that maybe my voice has been inconsistent and that they don't like that, and then explain why, then that's a critique I can take back and use, and I have. So I've tried to keep my I've tried keeping my voice as I normally do. No more Batman voice. I will do no more Batman voice. If you're here and you're listening to this, I'm doing the Batman voice for you. Yeah. So either way, let's see here. Mark Me Up One asked, thanks. Have you tried patterning? Well, yes, and I have featured it on my channel. And I don't know if you're on desktop and you go to my channel, then there's a search window under the banner, and you can just search for any word or app or thing, and you'll find if I have made a video of it or not. I tag my videos properly. I give them proper titles. And if you search for patterning, you're probably gonna find a few videos where I've featured patterning. I love patterning. It was one of my most favorite drum sampler players things for a while, and that has now changed. But I'm gonna make a video about that later on. Patterning is awesome, and I do like it because it's got another type of interface. It's basically, let's face it, it's basically a sample player, but it's got a really nice interface, and the way that you can split up the interface and put in notes makes it awesome. So yes, I have tried it. Um, let's see here. Uh, yeah, thank you so much for joining up today, and I'll I'll just yeah, I'm sorry if I talk too much about stuff that isn't relevant. I really don't know. I won't know until I go back and look at it. And I'm happy that you came. I'm happy that you're here chatting away and doing these discussions and giving me feedback and praise. Because without you watching it, my channel would just be some bloke from Sweden uploading videos for no reason. So, thank you so much. I will be doing a live stream. The next live stream is probably gonna be in 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to make a live stream every second week, and I had it scheduled so that I don't do it the same week when I have the low pass podcast. But this week it just became like this anyway. So if you haven't seen the Low Past podcast with me, Andreas from Accurate Beats, and Bo from Bo Beats, and me from haQ, then I suggest you go do that. Just search for the Low Past podcast, and you'll find the latest episodes. We've done 2 episodes so far, three episodes. I think it's 3 episodes. Yeah, I think we did the 3rd episode. Ah, I'm not so I'm not sure, but we did. Yeah. Um Thank you so much for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. I've also got a Patreon page, so if you want to support good I've got a Patreon. I've got the address down there. And if that's interesting to you, then go ahead. If it's not interesting, link my videos to people who might be interested. I always mess this up. Uh, as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing. And now I'm gonna try to play some of the outro music without messing up. There we go.